Listen, that polite smile you wear, while a quiet rage simmers just beneath the surface, for generations, women have been taught this is a flaw, an unacceptable emotion to be silenced. But here is the truth. That is a dangerous lie. In fact, a study from the American Psychological Association found something shocking. Women who consistently suppress their anger are nearly 3 times more likely to suffer from chronic anxiety. So what if that anger isn't a destructive fire? What if it's a compass, a vital signal from your authentic self, guiding you back to a profound inner peace? This journey is not about erasing your anger. It is about learning to read the map it provides. And it begins by understanding the silent scream and why we were taught to suppress it in the first place. Listen, so why do we suppress it? The story of the silenced scream begins early. You know what I'm talking about. The cultural narrative is simple, and it is relentless. Good girls don't get angry. Sound familiar? In fact, developmental studies have shown for decades that young girls are subtly, and not so subtly, coached to reframe their anger as sadness or disappointment, while young boys are often encouraged to express it. And so, you learn. You learn to swallow it, to push it down, to pretend it isn't there. But here is the truth. That anger doesn't just disappear, it goes somewhere. Imagine your inner world is a deep, clear well. Every time you suppress a legitimate flash of anger, it is like dropping a single drop of poison into that well. At first, you don't notice, but drop after drop, year after year, the water becomes toxic. That is the internal cost. That anxiety that settles in your bones, the bitter taste of resentment, a slow, creeping disconnect from the woman you were always meant to be. But what if that poison is actually a misunderstood medicine? What if anger isn't the problem at all, but a vital signal trying to get your attention? So what is the purpose of this signal? And what is it trying to tell you right now? Listen, let's decode the signal. Because your anger, it's not a destructive wildfire. You know what it is? It is the alarm system of your soul. Think about that. An alarm isn't the problem. It's the signal that there is a problem that needs your attention. And that alarm usually rings for one of 3 reasons. First, the unmet need alarm. This is the quiet rage that comes from a deep thirst, the need for rest, the need for appreciation, the need for 5 minutes of uninterrupted silence. Second, the boundary breach alarm. That sharp internal flash when your sister calls at 10 p.m. again to unload her drama. Or when your boss emails on a Sunday expecting an immediate reply. Your anger is a sacred guardian telling you this line has been crossed. And third, the injustice alarm. That slow burn you feel when you realize you're still doing the lion's share of the emotional labor in your family. And you know what? You're not imagining it. Sociological studies consistently show that even in households where both partners work full-time, women perform hours of additional unpaid domestic and emotional work each week. That isn't a feeling, it's a fact. But here is the most common mistake we make. Reactive, destructive anger. That is just smashing the alarm clock against the wall. It stops the noise for a moment, but you miss the message. Constructive anger, that is getting up, calmly turning off the alarm and asking, what is the fire? What needs my attention? But why has this alarm been ringing for so long, unheard? Why are we conditioned to ignore it? That answer lies in the invisible chains we've all been taught to wear. Listen, so why do we ignore the alarm? Because we are caught in a powerful, invisible trap. It's called the pleaser trap, and it actively and systematically stifles your anger. Think about it. Societal expectations have created a cycle where your worth is often tied to how much you can give, how agreeable you can be. You are praised for being selfless, for keeping the peace, for putting everyone else's needs first. And so you do, at your own expense. And at the heart of this trap is a deep, primal fear. The fear of being too much, the fear of being labeled difficult or emotional, or the one that cuts the deepest for so many women, unlikable. And that fear, it is a powerful silencer. It is the reason you say yes when you mean no. It is the reason you smile when you want to scream. It is the reason you rationalize away the injustice of doing all the emotional labor because the alternative, speaking up and risking that label, feels terrifying. But here is the truth. That fear is the lock on your cage. And recognizing these societal pressures, these invisible chains, that is the first step to finding the key. This isn't about blaming anyone. This is about reclaiming your power. It is a quiet revolution that begins inside. It starts not with a roar, but with a single courageous whisper of truth to yourself. A whisper that says, "My needs matter. My boundaries are sacred, and my anger is my guide." So how do we turn that whisper into a voice? How do we reclaim our roar, not with destruction, but with resolve? Listen. So, how do we begin? How do you reclaim your roar, not with an explosion, but with resolve? It starts with the most powerful word in the language of self-reclamation, the word no. It is not a word of rejection. You know what it is? It is a word of self-preservation. Each time you say a courageous no to something that drains you, you are saying a profound yes to yourself. But reclaiming your anger is not just about saying no. It's about healthy expression. And this is where the journaling we spoke of before becomes your sacred practice. When that quiet rage begins to simmer, don't suppress it. Go to your journal and write it out, raw and unfiltered. I am angry because. Give your anger a voice on paper, where it is safe. This practice alone can be transformative. And for when you must speak, I will give you a simple spell of assertive communication. It's not about blame, it's about truth. The formula is this: when you do X, I feel Y, and what I need is Z. When you email me on a Sunday, I feel that my personal time is not respected, and what I need is for work communication to stay within work hours. You see? It's not an attack. It is a clear, calm statement of your reality. And this is the great secret. This entire process, this is the journey of individuation Carl Jung spoke of. It is the courageous act of becoming a more authentic, integrated self. One boundary, one journal entry, one true sentence at a time. But what is the ultimate reward for this courageous work? What does this peace in authenticity truly feel like? Listen, and here is the great paradox. The reward for reclaiming your anger is not more conflict. It is a profound inner peace. Because the quiet resentment that was poisoning your inner well, it begins to dissolve. You are no longer at war with yourself. And the ripple effect is extraordinary. Your relationships become more honest because people finally meet the real, authentic you, not the resentful performer. You evolve into a woman who is no longer defined by her suppressed emotions, but a woman who is powerful, authentic, and finally, at peace. So I invite you to honor this part of yourself. In the comments below, simply write the words, "I am reclaiming my voice." It is a declaration of your truth. And now that you have begun to reclaim your anger, it is time to move beyond the good girl archetype and meet the powerful, wild woman she was built to contain. That is the journey we will take next.